I have two students here with me, Jade Thompson and Alexis Hughes. I want to start by, how many of you here are in a new high school that's been built, let's say, in the last 5 to 10 years? Our school opened in 1968. That was a big issue for us, and we had proposed to get a nickel tax to get a new school, and we couldn't. So we decided to do the best with what we had. And this was how this project began. You can go down one slide, one of you guys. This, and I'll summarize that. This was how I came up with this project, and I began the idea with this last year. Fed up with the way the school looked. It was getting run down. It was very depressing. I had planned on retiring, and I went to art conference, and I saw a mural, and it inspired me to do something at school. And you can see, it is a very dated school. And so I talked with the kids, and we talked about what we wanted to do, and I pushed it through with the administration, and I got a mural class this year. Go to the next slide. And we had ideas. We actually have this project in progress. We don't have it up yet. We have a lot of paintings. And the idea with this one, and we have a 6-inch tiles that every student, the goal is to get every student to create one and put together to make this mural, which will be installed on this hallway up here. Go next. You can go through a couple. Let me slide over and I will buzz through quickly. These are some of the students who are working on those tiles, and those will be installed on the walls. Hopefully get part of them up before we get out of school. You can see there, they grabbed their phones, they got excited, and most of these were not art students, had no artistic ability, and they're like, what do I do? And these are what we did on the outside of the library. This one is not finished yet. On the top of it, when we get back, the first of next week, on the top of it gets the title and it gets a quote on the other side. This was the part of the library that was old. This was the new section of it. And in the library, there is a section that has, it's got a dumb waiter in it, and we don't use it anymore. It's not been used in years because it's been separated out, and now we need to cover that wall up. So we have taken styrofoam and created a false stone wall. Tell them what you did with the stone wall.
Well, first we took the, what's the tool called? To burn the heat gun to burn the indentions to make the lines in the wall. And we basically gave it a lot of texture because melting the styrofoam makes it really rugged, and then we painted over it with different tones of gray and blue paints to make it look more authentic, and then painted the quote. So, yeah, the mural paints are thicker, and they're really
Last year, whenever we initially started, we started with the library, with the books, and the paints. Some of them were just the standard student paints, and it took so many coats.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to coat it. It's vibrant and doesn't take as much layers. So also saving time, saving money doing mural paints.
Because we got funding for it after last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do that next one. And this was when they're talking about starting last year in the library with the wall and taking the plain wall and doing that there with the thinner paints. Also with the library are issues that came up over summer. One of the big columns, like here you can see in the bottom right, ended up with a big hole in it. We don't know how it ended up with a big hole in it, but our solution was to create some paintings to go over top of it, so we've kind of masked those things. And this one came as a collaborative between these guys and a couple of more. And what they did, they came up with their design. I think this was yours?
No, this was Katie's.
Katie's, okay. And then they divided it up into pieces, mounted it on black, took some of the shelving out of the bookshelves, and used that as the boards to mount them on, and then we hung those on the columns. And that's a little gift on how important the arts are in light of education, especially in these days. I've got a feeling the arts are going to go pretty quickly if we don't do something about it. Classroom. This was one of the first classrooms that was started, and Mr. Gibson is here. There you are. Is here, and he may have something to say here shortly about this. Kids took projects and did stuff with those, changed the classroom completely. Colors, built a wall into it. He has a school store. You can see a couple of his things here for sale. And then we've moved on to some other classrooms. I asked some of the teachers to give me input, what they wanted in their classrooms, asked their kids what they wanted. And this is in Miss Dial's classroom, and she wanted these inspirational quotes, and the kids seemed to like it very well. This is in one of the other classrooms. It is not finished, as you can tell. It's a little more finished now than what that photo is. And there's a second one that goes in that classroom. Oh, let's go back. This one is downstairs by the bathrooms. And again, in progress. We're going to be working up till school's out and hopefully picking it up again next year and continuing. This is outside our youth service center, where we're just big, boring, this flat wall, and it's going down this little hallway, so it's very colorful now. It's changed on its own. And this one, as you can see, is going to be a future quote from Abraham Lincoln on character. This one is down the freshman wing. This is the inspiration for one that started upstairs. One of the girls came to me and said, I've got an idea for a mural. You know, we're also wrapped up in social media, and she showed me this one with the green. She said, I want to do something that says rise above it. And so on this one, they are starting a galaxy, and they didn't like the green in that one. They're going to use the little girl, and that's all they're going to use out of it. They're going to have a galaxy. The world at the bottom is going to have the map, but it's going to be made up of social media icons. And the quote's going to be rise above it, because social media dominates our kids' lives so much, and it's just like you've got to get above that and focus on what is serious. Oh, there we go. I've had a lot of positive feedback on this. I did a survey. 98% of the kids said they really liked the murals in the hallway. 80-some% of them, like 82, 83%, said it made them feel more apt to want to be there at school, a more positive and learning environment for them. You guys have heard a lot more since you guys have been out in the hallways painting and listening to kids. Comments, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of positive comments from people in the hallway, just asking me about the paintings and like what I'm gonna do next. Usually, and they really like the colors and the designs that we choose. So.
Not only do the students love it, the teachers adore it. They've been there for years, and it has to get boring, doesn't it? Yeah. The student body has been really positive about it. I myself, working on them, have had a lot of fun, and it's been an overall positive experience.
Mr. Gibson, since yours was the first classroom that was completely overdone, what's your response this year from your kids that you've had in that class? You do have to speak into the mic, by the way.
Great, I didn't know I was talking. The kids just seem more apt to come to class, excited. It petitioned off. Before I had cardboard walls, literally like walls petitioned off for a school store. We run the Eagle's Nest. We develop all of our own clothing, sell it. Now it's boxed in with shelves, painted. As you can see on the walls in the photos before, the apps on the walls, students want to make it a tech room. I teach technology, all right, computers. So you can see they took and got pizza boxes donated, and they took and wrapped them with a printer, a large printer we have, and made our own apps, and redid the clock and made the apps and just made it more tech-friendly. So students seem to like it really well.
I've learned the digital aspects of that.
Oh, yeah, they did the digital aspects. They did all the designing, all the printing on the printers. Everything in here they designed and did. I did actually nothing other than watch them, because that was the whole point of the project with art.
And one project that we've got in progress that I don't have photos of because I couldn't get in the classroom to take pictures, it was locked up, is in our TV station room, our technology teacher there. And they're doing some murals across that wall that's got the scenes with the film strips and those across it that really suits the subject area. And that's the goal of it, is to have some murals that teach concepts. Comments?